Hi everyone, welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My name is Lisa Curcio. I've got a turkey card for you today as we gear up towards Thanksgiving. I know you're probably thinking a turkey. We don't have a turkey stamp set and we don't have turkey framelits. I know, so I made one. So this is what we're going to be making today, and it uses the Paisleys framelits as well as the layering circles framelits. Cute, huh? I can't wait to show you how to put it together, and I think it's going to give you a whole new insight on looking at your framelits in a different way. Remember, I'm going to put all the cutting dimensions for the card and the project supplies over on my blog. You'll see the address here on the screen in the beginning as well as on the end. So make sure that you head over there and check it out. Also, as a reminder, today is the last day to sign up for Studio Stamps in the Mail. So make sure you head over to my blog and click on the Online Classes tab so that you're not missing out on the November Studio Stamps in the Mail, which includes the Santa's Sleigh Bundle. That's right, lots of beautiful cards for you to create just in time for the holidays. Let's get over to the stamp table now and let's get started. Here's our turkey card. Cute, huh? You're going to be surprised at how these framelits are so versatile, and you can build just about anything if you got some imagination. We're going to use the Paisleys framelits to actually make the head of this turkey. So let me show you. Here they are. Mine are on a magnetic sheet just to keep them organized. This little one is the eyes. This scallop here is going to be his head. And this right here, I don't even know what to describe this shape. This is going to be that little piece that hangs underneath their neck. What is that word? Someone leave me a comment. I always call it the wobbler. I have no idea what it is. I know there's a technical name and one of you know, so make sure you leave me a comment. So those are going to create the turkey head. The feathers of our turkey are actually going to be coming from the layering circles framelits. The layering circles come with regular circle shapes as well as scallops. And I've used 3 sizes that are actually in a sequence. So we're going to be using those to make the feathers. I love, love, love my Big Shot. But I found a way to do a lot less cranking to get all the work done at one time. I have 3 pieces of designer series paper from the Paisleys and Petals series. Doesn't matter which pattern you use, just have some fun. I'm going to lay each of those out. So I'm going to put the framelits for the scallops on each one of those. Remember that your framelits cut on the inside circumference so that you can use up your scraps. Don't think that just because it doesn't fit on the outside it won't cut. It will cut on the inside. Sizzix does not recommend that you cut through 2 layers of paper at a time, but I cheated and it does work. So I'm going to stick those here. Got 2 pieces of vanilla with the circle for the eyes. This is that thing, I don't know what it's called. Remember I told you I called it the wobbler. I'm going to put that here. Do you see how I'm filling up the entire platform so that I'm going to be able to crank everything through one time? And then this is going to be the turkey's head. That's going to fit on a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock. So we're all set to go. We're going to cover it with our clear mat, and just one crank through will get me all the pieces I need for this turkey. So here we've got our pieces now. So we've got one of our designer paper. Here's the other. These are going to create those layered feather look. And this is going to be the head. This is that thing, I don't know what it's called. You're all probably talking at me right now, and I wish I could hear you because I don't know what it's called. And then remember, this was the double layer of very vanilla cardstock. And you're going to see that I did get 2. So here's one. And this one I'm going to push through a little bit. And here is the other. So now we've got our 2 circles for our eyes. We'll need a couple other pieces, and I'm going to punch those just to make it quicker. This is the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. If you don't have this, you can certainly use the layering circles framelits. And I'm only going to need about half, so I'm just going to punch about half. And I use the medallion punch to do the beak. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to slip that down inside. And I'm laying these out so you can see them. So here are the pieces we have to put our turkey together. Let me get those 2 little tiny eyes. There we go. So this is going to make one turkey. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get the base of my card ready. This is Early Espresso cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm a big fan of my bone folder for that nice crisp crease. And then I've cut a piece of very vanilla cardstock. This measures 4 by 5.25. And I'm using the words, "In everything, give thanks." The words come from the holiday catalog stamp set called Sweet Sayings. I'm really enjoying this because there's quite a variety of different greetings that are going to take me through the holiday season. There's also a great greeting in here that I can use all year round, and that's one for sympathy or sending you thoughts of comfort, even great get well card sentiment. I'll use the coordinating ink, which is the Early Espresso. And I'm going to ink up my sentiment in that. And I'm going to stamp that here near the top of my cardstock. This is where we're going to build the turkey. So I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. I absolutely love working on this. Adhesive will not stick to it. So for small building pieces like what we're going to do here to construct this punch art item, it's going to be really fun to work with this. I'm going to start by placing the body of my turkey. Now, don't get too fussy about how tall he's going to be or how short he's going to be. The most important thing is you're going to want to make sure that when you put your feathers behind that you don't extend beyond the area where your greeting is. So I'll begin with adhering my designer paper. I'm going to put some snail adhesive on the back. I'm going to make sure that my pattern for my leaves is all going in the same direction. That's just a Lisa thing. If you don't care, that's totally fine. And I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to center this one here as well. So now I have all the circles adhered together. I'm going to determine where I want this. And I'm thinking right about here is good. It's going to give me a little bit of room here before the greeting. If you want to go lower, you want to go a little higher, that's fine. What you don't want is you don't want the entire scallop visible on the card because you want it to look like he's actually sitting at the base. So I'll flip that over. I'm going to add snail adhesive here. And I'm going to check my leaves and make sure they're going in the right way. And I am going to mount that here near the bottom of the card. Now this excess can easily be cut off with your paper snips. I'm just going to take that from the back end because I found that that cardstock edge really provides a great parameter for me to cut against. So that leaves me this. Now keep in mind this is going to be my body. If yours is a little shallower or a little taller, that's okay. You can always manipulate this based on the layout that you want. So you can see I'm going to want his head to fall here. So I'm going to actually mount this a little bit lower and then we'll give that a trim again, just like we did with the feathers. Put a little snail on the back. I'm going to hang off a little bit here at the bottom. I'm going to base that here. And I'm just going to check. Yep, that's much better. So now, again, I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut off the excess from the back using that cardstock as my guide. All right, so now we have that. Here is the head to our turkey. I used snail adhesive. If you prefer dimensionals, that's totally fine. And I'm going to mount him here. Again, leaving room for his feathers to show behind him. So now we have the whole base of our turkey. So far, so good. Now let's talk about the beak. Remember I used the medallion punch to cut out the image. These smaller ones will make a perfect beak. So I'm just going to cut one off. Just think how many turkeys we could make from here. So if you're doing these for place cards for the holidays or for napkin rings, that'll be a great little addition for you to have to do a little bit less punching. So that's going to end up going here. I've got 2 eyes. Remember we talked about those. I'm actually going to adhere these with glue dots. So I'm going to take out my glue dots. I'm going to add one here. I'm going to add one here. Best way to use glue dots is by putting your item on top of the glue versus trying to pick them off with your finger. But they are small and my nails are short, so I like to use my paper piercing tool. I'm leaving his nose there just to get an idea if it's going to be too big. And I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to flip this over using my silicone mat now off to the side. This way I don't have to worry about a sticky surface. I am going to put that here near the bottom, leaving room, of course, for that little wobbler thing I don't know the name of. Now, when you place the eyes, you're going to want to be careful that you cover up some of that beak. I didn't press too hard, so in case I have to manipulate this, I can. I'm going to put my other one over here. I'm going to move this guy over just a little bit. There we go. And if they overlap, he's just got some character. And again, here's that piece. I don't know what it's called, but guess where this is going to go? We're going to tuck this right underneath the beak. And again, that silicone mat's going to keep adhesive only where I need it. I'm going to use my paper piercing tool. I tried putting this on first, and I'll be honest with you, it just didn't lay where I wanted it. So I put the beak on first and just carefully lifted it, and then attached this for that piece. Now let's get out a couple markers. For this project, I loved the Project Life journaling pen. There are two pens when you buy them. There is a 05 point and an 01 point. 01 is really, really fine and thin. And I'm going to give you a great tip for this in an upcoming tip video on Thursday. So keep your eyes out for that. The 05 is a little bit thicker. I love it because it works super well. The tip is really nice and firm. You don't have to worry about it getting squishy. But this is where I'm actually going to draw in his eyes. I'm going to draw 2 black circles. And I want mine fairly close together because I want him just to have kind of a crazy, silly little look. Don't worry if your circles are not exactly the same size or they're not perfect circles. This is just supposed to be fun. So there we go. I've got my eyes. This is the white chalk marker. That chalk marker is going to give us just a little bit of definition. My best advice to you is to get this started on some scratch paper. Let me pull out a piece here that I've got in Cajun Craze because I want to make sure that it's flowing nicely. Yes, it is. And then I'm going to put a little tiny dot in each of his eyes to give him that character look. So there, look, our turkey is finished. Now we're going to adhere this to the base of our card. Scoot that out of the way. I'm going to put adhesive in my 4 corners, and then he is going to get mounted here. No 2 of your turkeys are going to look exactly alike. I'm going to rub from the back. So there you go. Isn't he adorable? And just think of the possibilities. Holiday place cards, holiday napkin rigs. You can form him on a square or on a larger circle so that you have a base to attach it to another item. How about little takeout boxes for your guests this holiday season over your Thanksgiving dinner or even for pie to take home? Cute, huh? And a great use for those framelits other than their intended purposes. Remember to head over to my blog. The address is going to be here on the screen at the end. Get your studio stamps in the mail before today is over so that you can get your stamps for November and enjoy the Santa Sleigh bundle, as well as the pictures and the cutting dimensions for today's project. I'm so glad that you've joined me, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.